Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss a little bit complicated topic in the subject semantics. I tried to make this lecture easier for you people. So let's learn what is proposition in the subject semantics. What is a proposition? A proposition is that part of the meaning of the utterance of a declarative sentence which describes some state of affairs. So a proposition describes some state of affair. Of what kind of sentence? Declarative sentence. Not a question, not imperative, but only declarative sentence. So first of all, we have to learn what is some state of affairs. Comment. The state of affairs typically involves person or thing. So on the one hand, we have persons or thing referred to by expression in the sentence. So in a sentence, some expressions are used. And those expressions refer to persons or thing. And the second thing is that the situation or action. We might have a situation in a sentence, or we might have an action in a sentence, in a declarative sentence, that are involved in uttering a declarative sentence. So there might be a person or there might be a thing, and there might be a situation or there might be an action, and this person will describe a state of affair. Something is happening, or there might be a situation. So a speaker typically asserts a proposition. So when you assert a proposition, so it means that you are saying that something is true, right? So we have rule for this. The notion of truth can be used to decide whether two sentences express different proposition. Thus, if there is any conceivable set of circumstances in which one sentence is true while the other is false, we can be sure that they express different proposition. So sometimes it happens that we may have two sentences, and those two sentences will express the same proposition, right? We may have three sentences, we may have two sentences, or we may have one sentence, but all of them will express the same proposition. But here they say that the notion of truth can be used to decide whether two sentences express different proposition. If, for example, we have two sentences, right, and one is true and one is false, then we will have two propositions. And if we have two sentences, and if one is true and the second is also true, then we will have the same proposition which will be expressed by two different sentences. Excuse me. Let's see examples. Consider the following pair of sentences. In each case, say whether there are any circumstances of which one member of the pair could be true and the other false. If one is true and other is false, then we will have two different propositions. And if both are true, then we will have same proposition. Assuming in each case that the same name, e.g. Harry, refer to the same person. Now let's see example. First, Harry took out the garbage, and Harry took the garbage out. You can see that here we have two different sentences, right? But they express the same proposition, because if this is true, right, in these circumstances, so this is also true, right? If suppose if it were true and it were wrong, then we would say that these two are different proposition. But because Harry took out the garbage and Harry took the garbage out, we have two different structures, two different sentences, right? But they express the same proposition. So both are true, okay? So the answer would be no, because both of them express the same proposition. Second, John gave Mary a book and Mary was given a book by John? Again, no, because both of these sentences express the same preposition. It is not that one is true and other is false. Let's see the third one. Isabel loves Tony and Tony loves Isabel. What do you think of this? Yes? Just think for a minute. Yes? What do you say? Yes or no? The answer is yes, because one could be true, then the other could be false. Isabel loves Tony. If this is true, so this could be false. And if this one is false, so this could be true. So these two sentences express different proposition, different ideas. Example 4. George danced with Ethel and George didn't dance with Ethel. So the answer would be yes, because this sentence has different proposition and this sentence has different proposition, right? So they do not correspond each other. So we have two different sentences and we have two different proposition. Example number 5. Dr. Findlay killed Janet and Dr. Findlay caused Janet to die. Again, we have two different prepositions in these two different sentences. The answer would be yes, because the two sentences do not correspond with each other. In the first case, Dr. Findlay killed Janet. In the second, Dr. Findlay was only the cause Janet to die. Maybe that she died because of something else, okay, something different. So that's why these two sentences do not correspond each other. So we have two different propositions. So what we learn from here? We learn that sometimes the same proposition can be expressed by two different sentences. And sometimes we may have two different sentences and we may have two different propositions. We will develop this notion on coming slide. So keep watching. Comment. One can entertain propositions in the mind regardless of whether they are true or false. So when propositions, they are in mind. So we do not think whether these propositions are true or false, regardless of true or false. E.g., by thinking them or believing them, you just believe them, you just think. But this might not be so. This might not be true. Or this might be true, but only true propositions can be known. So only the proposition which are true, they be known. And when something is in mind, so that is unknown. So when something is in mind, that can be true or that can be false. Let's learn this notion by giving example. Practice. If John wonders whether Alice is deceiving him, would it seem reasonable to say that he has the proposition that Alice is deceiving him in his mind and is not sure whether it is true or false proposition? The answer is yes, because he thinks and he believes that Alice is deceiving him. Regardless, it might not be that Alice is deceiving him. Okay, it might be true or it might be false. Alice might be deceiving him or Alice might not be deceiving him, right? But that is in his mind. So preposition that can be in your mind, as we learn here, that one can enjoy proposition in the mind regardless of whether they are true or false. So the answer is yes. Number 2. If I say to you that if Mary came to the party, Phyllis must have been upset, do I thereby put in your mind the proposition that Mary came to the party without necessarily indicating whether it is true or false? Yes. I am doing what? I am putting in your mind that Mary came to the party, right? So she may have come or she may not have come, but I'm just putting in your mind, okay, and you believe. So that's proposition, okay, in the mind, regardless of true or false. Answer is again yes. Number 3, if I say to you, was your father in Navy, would it seem reasonable to say that I have the proposition that your father was in the Navy in my mind and wish to know whether this proposition is true or false? Of course, yes. Right? Because the proposition that's in my mind, that your father was in army, and I want to confirm whether it is true or that is false. Next example. Is there something odd about the following sentence? If so, so what? Pamela considered the fact that her mother was alive and realized that it could not possibly be true. So, this is an odd sentence because on the one hand, Pamela considered the fact that her mother was alive and realized that it could not be possibly true. So these two sentences are in contradiction with each other. So this is odd in these two sentences. Number 5. Is there something similarly odd about the following sentence? If so, so what? Pamela considered the proposition that her mother was alive and realized that it could not possibly be true. So there is nothing odd about this sentence because it is only a proposition. It's only an idea that Pamela considered the proposition that her mother was alive and realized that it could not possibly be true. So that's a proposition, and here in the first case it was consider. So in these two slides we discuss what? That preposition can be entertained in one's mind regardless of whether it's true or it is false. We will develop the notion of preposition more on coming slides. Comment. In our definition of preposition, we explicitly mention declarative sentences, right? Only in declarative sentences we assert that a preposition is true, but prepositions are clearly involved in the meaning of other type of sentences, such as interrogative, which are used to ask questions, and imperative, which are used to convey orders. Normally, when a speaker utters a simple declarative sentence, he commits himself to the truth of corresponding preposition, and he asserts the preposition by uttering a simple interrogative or imperative. A speaker can mention a particular preposition without asserting its truth. This is very interesting here now. Keep in mind that prepositions are clearly involved in the meaning of other type of sentences. So prepositions are not only involved in declarative sentences but also other type of sentences. Then what is difference? When we convey preposition through interrogative sentences like questions, or when we convey preposition through imperative sentences to give order, so the speaker utters a simple declarative. Normally, when a speaker utters a simple declarative sentence, he commits himself to be truth of the corresponding preposition. If I say, for example, that I'm a teacher, so I assert it's true. Or if I say that I like mangoes, so I assert it's true. But if I ask a question, I do not assert whether it is true or it is false. For example, that do I like mangoes is a question. I'm not asserting. Or if I say that you like mango, so I am asserting. I assert that you like mango. If I say that do you like mango, so here I do not assert. It's a question. It's not a true. So in question and in imperative, a preposition may not be true. Okay, it's only a question. But in declarative sentence, a preposition is all the time true because I am asserting. So normally when a speaker utters a simple declarative sentence, he commits himself to the truth of corresponding preposition. He asserts the preposition. And by uttering a simple interrogative or imperative, a speaker can mention a particular preposition without asserting its truth. So overall, it means that a preposition can be conveyed through declarative, through question, like interrogative, and through imperative. But what is the difference? When a preposition is conveyed in a declarative sentence, so a speaker asserts what he or she is saying is true. And when a preposition is conveyed in interrogative or through interrogative and imperative, so a speaker without asserting its truth is mentioning it. So In question, in interrogative and imperative, the speaker does not assert whether it's true or not. And in declarative sentence, the speaker asserts that it's truth. This is okay, the difference. Example. In saying John can go, a speaker asserts the proposition that John can go, right? John can go is a declarative. So a speaker asserts the proposition that John can go. In saying can John go, he mentions the same proposition. So the preposition that is here, it's also here, but merely question its truth. Here, the truth is questioned. He's not asserting. The truth is questioned. So we say that corresponding declaratives and interrogative and imperative have the same propositional content. So the content of preposition in this, in declarative and in questions are same. But what is different? In declarative sentence, the speaker asserts the preposition is truth. And in question, the speaker does not assert the preposition and its truth, but only is questioning, right? He's not asserting whether it is true or not. Here we have some more practice. In the following utterances, is any preposition asserted by the speaker? Is any preposition asserted by the speaker? Have you seen my toothbrush? There is no assertion. It's a question. It's asking about the truth. Okay? So truth is question here. There's no preposition. Or preposition is there, but there's no assertion. The question is that in the following utterances, is any preposition asserted by the speaker? So in the first sentence A, there is no assertion. It's a question. Number 2, get out of here this minute. Any assertion? Not at all. Here we have order. So no assertion is made. The third, I'm afraid that I will have to ask you to leave. So here we have assertion because it's a declarative sentence. So in a declarative sentence, the speaker asserts. 2, would you say that the number of the following sentences pair have the same preposition content? Go away, will you, and you will go away. So we have the same prepositional content. The same proposition, but here the speaker asserts and here the speaker is questioning, not asserting. And pigs might fly, and I am a Dutchman. So here we have two different propositions. It's also declarative and it's also declarative, but we have two different propositions. And I am an idiot, and am I an idiot? So in the third case, in C, we have same proposition. In C, I am an idiot, and am I an idiot? So we have the same propositional contents. Okay, but in number 1, in C, A, I am an idiot, the speaker asserts a proposition, and am I an idiot, the same proposition is also here, but it's not asserting, but the speaker is questioning this. It's only so in A we have same propositional content. In B we have two different propositional content. In C we have same propositional contents. Comment. Preposition unlike sentences cannot be said to belong to any particular language. So sentence belong to a particular language. Utterance belong to particular language. But preposition does not have any concern with any language, right? Because it's in mind. So preposition is not related to any language. Sentences in different languages can correspond to the same preposition if the two sentences are perfect translated to each. For example, I say that I am a teacher, and then I say मैं एक उस्ताद हूँ, and then I say ज़यो उस्तादियम. So I utter the same preposition in 3 different languages. So idea is the same, preposition is the same, only languages change. Let me give another example. If I say that, for example, I live in Nowshera, right? and then I say मैं नौशहरा में रहता हूँ, and then I say ज़नोखार के उसेगम. So in three languages I utter sentence, but the proposition is same. So proposition has no limitation in language, or it's regardless of any language. Example. So this is example English. I am cold. French say Jai Freud's. German Mehr ist cold. And Russians man. Might be I'm wrong because I do not know German, I do not know French, but the same proposition can be conveyed in different languages. Right? We shall use the term proposition, sentence, and utterance in such a way that anything can be said of proposition can also be said of utterance. So whatever we say about proposition, we can say about utterances, but whatever we are saying about utterance, it cannot be said about proposition, but not necessarily vice versa. Anything can be said of a sentence can be said of an utterance, but not necessarily vice versa. Anything we say about utterance cannot be said of the sentence. We have already seen an example of this when we said it was sensible to talk of a sentence being a particular language, and also sensible to talk of utterance being a particular language, although one cannot talk of a proposition being in a particular language. On this last slide, we have a very interesting examples and practice. Fill in the chart below with plus or minus as appropriate. Thus, for example, if it makes sense to think of a proposition using a particular regional accent, put a plus in appropriate box. If not, put a minus. Let's see. Can be loud or quiet. Utterance. Utterance can be loud or quiet. Plus. Sentence can be loud or quiet. No, because sentence we have in mind. Preposition can be loud or quiet. No, because we have in mind. So here comes plus, because utterance can be loud or voice. I say, I am a teacher. I'm a teacher. I am a teacher. So you see that utterance can be loud or quiet. Sentence that's in mind, minus. Preposition mind, so minus minus plus. Can be grammatical or not. Utterance can be grammatical or not. Here comes what? Minus. Sentence can be grammatical can be grammatical or not. The first one. Utterance can be grammatical or not. Yes. Sentence can be grammatical or not. Yes. And preposition, no. So here comes minus, here comes plus, here comes plus. Can be true or false. Utterance can be true or false. Plus. Sentence can be true or false. Yeah, plus. Preposition can be true or false. Plus. In a particular regional accent. Utterance, yes. Sentence, yes. Preposition, no. Minus. In a particular language. Utterance can be particular language plus. Sentence can be particular language plus, and preposition can be in particular language, no, minus. Right? So plus plus minus. Can the same preposition be expressed in different sentences? Answer is yes. Can the same sentence be realized by different utterances? Yes. Answer is yes. Have different utterances or token. So the first one is also yes, and the second one is also yes. Right? Second two, sentence second and sentence third, both are yes. So thank you so much. It was a comprehensive lecture about the notion of preposition. If you have any doubt, any ambiguity, you are not clear, so please leave your comment, suggestion or question in comment box, comment section. I will answer. Thank you so much.